Should I 22M break up with my girlfriend 24F for not having a job? I've been with my girlfriend for 2 years and 6 months. We've been living together in the city and her parents has been paying for her side. I've been working and going to college, while she just stays at home and does dinner. She used to go to school but because of her depression, she lied about attending for a whole year. Her family and I talked to her about it and now she's not in school and going to therapy. She did promise on finding a job and recovering from her depression. Unfortunately, it's been almost a year since that has happened and she still hasn't found a job. She lied about applying jobs, and is just at house. We did make an agreement about how she would help make dinner, since I go to school, work, and work out. I do help around with cleaning the dishes and cleaning the house more than she does. I just feel like she has no motivation or desire to move on and I talk to her constantly about it. She always brings up that her depression is her excuse but I'm just tired of hearing it. She constantly saying how when we reached a certain amount of years she has to be married or she would leave. Honestly, right now I'm not focused on marriage, I'm focused on getting my degree and getting a good paying job. I'm not sure what to do anymore. I don't know if it's me or her just not wanting to improve. It sounds like you're done. It's okay to be done. Depression does not cause people to lie. That's a character flaw, and one I would not want to live with. I'd break up because she is a liar. The job and school are just two of the things she lies about, right now. That she has so little respect for you and for her family is absurd, especially when she's taking money from all of you. You're allowed fall out of love and if the spark is fading I think you should listen to your feelings. She's lied repeatedly, doesn't pull her own weight around the home, uses her mental illness as an excuse if treatment hasn't helped at all in a year then different treatment should be tried, and is trying to push you into marrying her. If you want a partner, ever, then you need to leave because she is either incapable or unwilling to contribute like a partner should. If you stay, you will never have anything but a dependent that takes from you. I think it would be one thing if she was applying to jobs, but hasn't been finding anything. A lot of people are in that situation right now. But her lying and threat of leaving is concerning, and you seem to value being with somebody who is more work-oriented, or at least puts in more effort on a personal level, and I think it's reasonable to leave the relationship for these reasons. I could say a lot, but don't have children with that woman. Give her an ultimatum. Get a job within the month or GTFO. At this point she's leeching off of you and using her depression as an excuse. Like yeah you're gonna feel lazy and tired but she's not even willing to help herself get out of the hole she's dug. There's no reason for her to not have a job in over a month. Work at fast food if you have to, at least it's something. Everyone here is acting like you need a justification for ending things like her lying and such. The only reason you need is that you're unhappy with your relationship and it's not working for you. You don't need any special reason to end a relationship or any justification, and you certainly did try to make it work. You're so young and should be with someone who makes you happy and will meet your needs rather than weigh you down. The concerns and feelings you listed are valid and that's all you need. No one should be expected to drown with a partner who isn't willing to help themselves. This is the perfect example and depiction of the saying, love is not enough. If you stay with her much longer, you will be taking over the parent's role of looking after her. I personally would leave. I wouldn't be okay with being with someone this lazy. Yes, she's depressed, but depressed people don't lie like that. It seems like she uses it as an excuse. She's too old to be living off her parents. Hey, she needs more help than what you can provide her. She will more than likely go back to live with her parents who seem to have the financial means to get her the proper care. It'll be rough for a little bit while she's making promises and trying to fix the relationship, but you'll be better off for it and she will be too. So I was prepared to say no because like we're living through a pandemic which is causing a huge employment crisis and it'll probably last since we don't even know how many businesses didn't make it out of this, but if she's not even applying then that's different. She always brings up that her depression is her excuse. Yeah, it's her excuse. Her excuse to not ever have to do shit again. Fuck that. People with depression have to figure that shit out for themselves, not drag everyone down with them and find excuses for everything. Contrary to popular belief, we aren't obligated to eat shit just because someone says they're depressed. If someone drops a pity party on you, eject that person from your life ASAP. Are you talking about your girlfriend or your teenage kid? I can't tell the difference. Think about the whole thing. Would you want to deal with that if you married her? Especially the lying. If she lied about that to her family, she has the capacity to lie to you too. She is making no efforts to move forward. You need to do what is best for you. Sweetie, the real question is, why are you with a pathological liar? She is the one not trying to improve or better, she is using it as an excuse. This is coming from someone who uses their depression as an excuse but is trying to get better. There's a distinction between supporting and enabling. With depression, being forced to do some work and have some routine has been proven to be helpful, and sitting at home doing nothing is known to be harmful, so you don't have to have any guilt for not wanting to enable her method of self-treatment any longer. I wouldn't break up with someone for not having a job, but I would break up with someone for not wanting to find a job and trying to be independent. I totally feel for your situation. It's really hard to watch loved ones deal with mental illness. She lied to you on multiple occasions. I bet the first time she said something like it will never happen again. But it did. And it is quite likely it may happen a third or a fourth time. She may not be a bad person, but the more this happens, the more she may see that all she has to do is say sorry and then there are no consequences. This can put some at ease and make them think, oh wow, that wasn't that bad. Are you okay with setting that precedent? Think about if the shoe was on the other foot, she would probably leave in a heartbeat. I wouldn't wait around for her. Time to break things up. Your mental health matters too. Something I've said before is, I am patient enough to be with you when you are bettering yourself, but if you are not willing to better yourself, then I have to move on. I think that's a perfectly adult thing to think. It's over. She's not going to change. You're young, find someone else. I guarantee if she gets a job she won't keep it for long based on the shown attitude toward everything else in her life. She is not your responsibility. You are your responsibility. You can leave a relationship for any reason, at any time. I feel for her, but you also deserve to be happy and taken cars off too. As someone who is very depressed and has ADHD, so it's hard to have any motivation at all, she shouldn't be relying on the people around her to do everything for her. Research learned helplessness, it sounds like what she's going through. You're allowed to leave, her decisions are a reflection of her, even if she blames your actions. Emo, this is a solvable problem if she commits to and follows through with no more lies, and starts going to therapy. She's probably caught in a spiral of shame and doubt. You might want to think about the energy and patience you're projecting as well, because if it's significantly negative then you aren't helping things. Bro, so many red flags here. Big one is that she is lying to you, and God forbid you get her knocked up, then you really are hosed. Pull the ripcord on her, bud, and move on. There are plenty of women out there who are better and got their shit together. Also, you'll see this in a few years, but you're too young to make a forever commitment. This was a short-term relationship and that's okay. You will have learned something from it. Can you see yourself at 35, married to her with kids, she's still not doing anything with her life and you do everything? And you've never had a chance to be with someone who shares your values? That would be a tragedy. You are justified in breaking up with her. Whether it's depression or her unwillingness to engage in her own life, this relationship is not working out for you. On top of it all, she is making ultimatums about marriage, at a time where she can't or won't pull her own weight. Time to end things. Alert her parents so they can make whatever arrangements are needed on their end. Someone can have a mental illness and not be a liar. Her lies and refusal to take responsibility or work on recovery is more than enough reason to exit this relationship. Is she in therapy? Because, if she's just taking pills, that's probably not going to be enough to get her back to normal. Regardless of what you decide to do, and leaving is certainly on the table now, she needs to get help. Maybe a breakup will also be a wake-up. Sorry, it's sad that it comes to this. Listen, go now while you can. I have been with my significant other for a little longer than you two have been together. We have children involved and he still does not contribute financially. Get out before you are in deeper. I promise you, it is the best thing for you. These are red flags. Run while you can. She needs to put on her big girl panties. You're young and you've tied yourself down to someone who lacks motivation and drive. I think at this point you can hopefully break up with her before there's too much resentment and anger. Just let her know it isn't working, so hopefully, she can move back in with her parents. Then, you can find someone who has a personality that suits yours better. Nothing wrong with wanting to get married and be a housewife, whatever. If you don't plan to marry her, then leave. Being a little 22-year-old, just go. Hand waving. If you really want her and love her, so you should hold on to her and help her improve. I guess what you can do is start living separately. If she really want you, she will try to improve. And ask her parents to give as little money, so that she can just survive. What's the issue? You aren't paying for her bills, needs, right? You've been with her for almost 3 years, and now you are tired? Being depressed isn't easy for the other person either. My boyfriend was a full-time student at OU and worked a full-time job, while still handling a relationship. Never have I heard him say, "I'm tired of coming home seeing this place a mess," when I was in my depressed state. Still finished his master's lol. At age 24. If you're done, then leave. You obviously don't love her anymore. Tears of joy. Sounds like an ultimatum won't work with this type of person. If she's lying about not going to college for a whole year or not applying for jobs, what else is she lying about? Just pull off the band-aid already. It's hard, I know. You can love her all you want, but if she brings nothing to the table, how do you expect to live? Her parents are providing for her now, but what happens when y'all get married and it is now fully your problem? You are too young to be dealing with a life-sucking, and money-sucking situation like this. Find a partner, not a dependent. If you leave, don't do it because she doesn't have a job, but because of the lies she's told. She lied a whole year about being at school when she wasn't. She said she would apply to jobs, and lied about that too. What else is she willing to lie about? And then after a certain amount of years you must be married if she leaves? I wouldn't be here for that. You might be doing her a favor by leaving. Obviously it's not working anyhow. The past is the best predictor of the future, so what you've had is likely to be what you'll experience more of during the next years to come. You sound and feel like asshole. If you even have to think something like that, you never really loved this girl. Yep. I've been there. I was married to a man 6 years older than me. I worked hard and did all the cleaning. He just stayed up late playing video games. He wasted a lot of his parents' money going through different majors in college, but never settling on one. He ended up getting a bachelor's in a field he wasn't even interested in and couldn't find a job. I begged him to go back to his old job at a grocery store so that he would have some income. But he was too proud. I tried to leave him, but he begged me to stay. So I gave him 1 year to get his life somewhat together. And he couldn't. He wouldn't even try. He just felt that he was entitled to a good job and that one would just appear in his lap. Years later, I hear he's 32 living with his parents still. So glad I left when I did. A 24-year-old freeloader being supported by her parents? Yeah, that's hardly long-term relationship material.